Greetings my fellow knights and welcome back to Recon by Fire. For today's battle, the Eldar are playing in the Warhost detachment. They are led by Eldrad. They are also bringing 2x10 squads of fire dragons, one of them led by Feugan himself. Jain Zar leading a 5-woman squad of howling banshees. And Autarch leading 10 dark reapers, 2x5 squads of rangers, 3x5 squads of Swooping Hawks, 2x5 squad of Warp Spiders, a Warlock Skyrunner, and 2 Wave Serpents. Zach is back running the Imperial Knights in the Valor Strike Lance detachment. He's bringing a Knight Crusader, Canis Rex, a Knight Defender, 2 Helverins, 2 Warglaives, a Callidius Assassin, and the Navigator. Primary mission for today is Purge the Foe. Deployment is Crucible of Battle, and we're playing on terrain layout number 1. Imperial Knights are going first. They will draw Secure No Man's Land and a tempting target as their secondaries for the turn. A tempting target is the center objective. They will select to kill more units than the current battle round as their oath. Bondsman abilities are -1 incoming damage on the Helverin and +1 to hit on the Warglaive. Start of the movement phase and the Warglaive is heading towards the southern objective. Armigers run in packs and the second Warglaive will make it onto the same objective. Eldar burn a battle focus and reactive move the Rangers out of line of sight the best they can. Helverin will move along the southern table edge to get line of sight into Jain Zar. Second Helverin advances 18 inches to get deep into enemy territory. Start of the shooting phase, the Warglaive fires into the Rangers and incinerates 2 of them. Burn another battle focus token and they will reactive move out of line of sight of the second. Helverin fires across the field into Jain Zar's unit and takes down 3 of the Banshees. Second Helverin fires into Jain Zar and the last 2 Banshees bite the bullet. Straight into the charge phase and the Warglaive rolls a 9 into the Rangers. Second Warglaive rolls a 7 and is in as well. Warglaive swings the chainsword into the Rangers and cuts them in half. That is going to end the turn for the Imperial Knights. They will score 5 points for securing No Man's Land, discard a tempting target for a command point, and earn an additional 2 command points for successfully completing their oath. Bottom of round 1 for the Eldar, they will draw Established Locusts and engage on all fronts as their secondaries for the turn. Eldrad will inspire his fellow elves and farm an additional command point. Start of the movement phase and the Rangers are going to tow onto the center objective to establish Locusts. Starfire engines and the Wave Serpent will move 17 inches towards the Helverin and hide inside the house. The nearby Helverin will spend a command point to reactive move away 5 inches. Fire Dragons then proceed to disembark wholly within the terrain feature to have line of sight into the Helverin. Feugan and company will disembark the second Wave Serpent but remain in range of fire and fading into it. Imperial Knights will fire Overwatch with the nearby Helverin and down goes one of the Fire Dragons. Warp Spiders move behind the terrain feature to stage for next turn. The first squad of Swooping Hawks will move into the building and up against the wall. Dark Reapers are going to move into the building to have line of sight into the Helverin across the board, but stay within 9 inches of the board edge. Skyrunner is going to advance and hide near the Wave Serpent. Spiders are going to warp 24 inches to the far side of the Helverin in order to move block the larger knights and suffer no damage. Jain Zar will back up to screen the backfield. Second squad of Swooping Hawks will stage for next turn. Swooping Hawks will chuck a grenade using their datasheet ability and fire into the Helverin, chipping away 3 wounds total. Imperial Knights are going to spend a command point to rotate ion shields on the Helverin, giving it a 4+ invul. Fire Dragons are going to send everything into the Helverin and melt it to slag. Eldar are going to spend a CP and give the Fire Dragons sustain hits 1. They will split fire, sending 4 big meltas into the Warglaive. Command reroll on the save and it lives at just 5 wounds remaining. The remaining fire dragons send everything into the Helverin and blast it off the field. Eldar will spend 1 CP to fire and fade the fire dragons back into the nearby Wave Serpent. At the end of the fight phase, the second squad of fire dragons will spend a command point to also hop back in the transport. That is going to end the turn for the Aeldari. They will score 2 points for Established Locus and 1 point for Engage on all fronts. Imperial Knights will pick up the Callidius Assassin. Both armies took down a unit this round and will score 4 points on primary. Top of round 2 for the Imperial Knights, they will draw Cleanse and recover assets as their secondaries for the turn. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, and the Warglaive wants revenge, so it will head towards the Wave Serpent. Second Warglaive is going to move out of the building and around the corner to get line of sight on the second Wave Serpent. Full tilt is going to allow the Knight Crusader to plow through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and land on the container. The Knight Defender will advance 15 inches, allowing it to position itself in front of the Crusader. Canis Rex will advance 16 inches to make its way towards the center objective. This will trigger the Ranger's reactive move, and they will simply move off the wall to avoid being charged. The wounded Warglaive fires into the Wave Serpent and manages to chip away 2 wounds. The second Warglaive, on the other hand, absolutely rocks its damage, dealing 11 wounds and pops the Wave Serpent. 1 Fire Dragon goes down on the way out. Into the charge phase we go, and Canis Rex will easily make it into the squad of spiders. Wounded Warglaive rolls a 10 on the charge and makes it around the building and into the second Wave Serpent. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Freedom's Hand scoops up the spiders without a problem, and Canis will consolidate onto the nearby objective. Warglaive is up next, swinging into the Wave Serpent, but only carves out 3 wounds. Wave Serpent attempts to clap back but deals 0 damage. That is going to end the turn for the Imperial Knights. The Navigator and the Callidius score 3 points on recovering assets, and they will discard Cleanse for a command point. Bottom of round 2 for the Eldar, they will draw a Tempting Target and Marked for Death as their secondaries for the turn. Marked for Death targets are the Navigator, the Warglaive, and the Knight Defender. Gamma target is Canis Rex. A Tempting Target will be the center objective. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. At the start of the movement phase, Feugan and company are going to disembark with line of sight on Canis but remain outside of 9 inches. Eldrad is going to step outside the building to have line of sight into Canis Rex to potentially doom him. Swooping Hawks will battle focus and advance to get into the Imperial Knights deployment zone and line of sight on the Navigator. In a top-notch play, Zach is going to reactive move Canis Rex 4 inches to keep him out of line of sight of Eldrad and some of the fire dragons. The second squad of fire dragons are going to battle focus and advance as well to get as many within melt range of Canis Rex as possible. Skyrunner is going to move on to the objective and potentially move block the Crusader from getting to it. Warp Spiders will teleport 24 inches onto the objective that the Warglaive is holding and will take 1 damage for their troubles. The Wave Serpent can't take much more of that Chain Blade and will fall back out of combat. Jain Zar and the second squad of Swooping Hawks will move in on the wounded Warglaive. Rinse and repeat for the Rangers as they tow back onto the center objective. Swooping Hawks arrive from reserves 9 inches away from the Callidius Assassin. Start of the shooting phase, the Warp Spiders will fire into the Warglaive, dealing 3 damage. Swooping Hawks chuck a grenade at the wounded Warglaive and finally take it down. Second squad of Hawks chuck a grenade at Canis Rex, dealing 3 mortals. All their shots go into the Navigator on the objective and make short work of him. Unable to see Canis Rex, Eldrad will doom the Warglaive, then fire into it for 0 damage. Swooping Hawks fire into the Callidius Assassin and pick her up. Eldar spend a command point to give the Fire Dragon sustained hits, and they fire everything into Canis Rex. Imperial Knights will spend a command point to rotate Ion Shields in response, and he only suffers 10 wounds. Dark Reapers fire into the Warglaive on the objective, and it survives at 6 wounds remaining. Feugan and company will then split fire, sending anything in melter range into the Warglaive on the objective, and it makes all of its saves, taking 0 damage. The remaining shots go into Canis Rex, and like a boss, he makes all of his invuls and also takes 0 damage. Nice. Eldar will then burn a command point for Feugan and company to hop back in the nearby transport. That is going to end the turn for the Eldar. They will score 5 points for a tempting target, 5 points for marked for death, and 8 points for kill and kill more. Imperial Knights will score 4 points for earning a kill. Top of round 3 for the Imperial Knights, they will draw no prisoners and assassination as their secondaries for the turn. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, and Canis Rex is going to make a beeline for the nearby fire dragons. Warglaive is going to move slightly to gain line of sight and be within range of Eldrad. Start of the shooting phase, the Warglaive will fire into Eldrad and easily takes him down, scoring them assassination. Crusader did not move, gaining sustained hits, and was buffed with Ignore's cover, and will split fire, sending the first volley into the Reapers, picking up 4 of them. Everything else goes into the nearby fire dragons, and down they go. Reapers burn a battle focus to attempt to get out of line of sight, but only move 3 inches. Knight Defender still has eyes on them and fires everything into them, picking up all the Reapers, leaving just the Autarch alive. Canis wants to defend his home and will fire into the Swooping Hawks, picking up the entire squad. It's charge o'clock. Canis Rex goes after the bike and is in with a 6. Warglaive charges the Warp Spiders to get back onto the objective. Onto the fight phase, the Warglaive strikes into the Warp Spiders and picks up 3 of them. Skyrunner is nothing but a blood splatter on the objective after Canis is through with him. Warp Spiders swing into the Warglaive and manage to score a single wound. Eldar used the Autarch's discount to pick him up at the end of the turn. That is going to end a strong turn for the Imperial Knights. They will score 5 points for no prisoners and 5 points for assassination. Bottom of round 3 for the Eldar, they will draw recover assets and secure no man's land as their secondaries for the turn. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. Warp Spiders failed their leadership check and are battle shocked. Start of the movement phase, the Spiders will fall back and succeed their desperate escape. Swooping Hawks are going to advance and burn a focus to make it on the objective near the Warglaive. Second squad of Hawks also advance 6 inches to make it on the same objective. Wave Serpent is going to starfire engines to move 19 inches towards Canis Rex. He will use his ability to reactive move for free towards the Wave Serpent. Jain Zar will step into the building but remain on the objective. Feugan and the Fire Dragons will disembark the Wave Serpent at point blank range to Canis Rex. Autarch is going to arrive off the table edge behind enemy lines. Start of the shooting phase, the Swooping Hawks are going to chuck their grenades at the wounded Warglaive, dealing 3 mortals and then 2 mortals. They proceed to open fire and it proves to be enough to take down the Armiger. Imperial Knights spend a command point to rotate ion shields on Canis Rex. The Fire Dragons open up on him and he re-rolls a save to live at just 3 wounds remaining. Wave Serpent then fires the las cannon into Canis Rex. He fails the save, command reroll on the amount of damage, and down he goes. At the end of the fight phase, Fire Dragons are going to hop back into the Wave Serpent. That is going to end the turn for the Eldar. They will score 5 points for secure no man's land and 5 points for recovering assets in 3 zones. They'll score 4 points for earning a kill, but the Imperial Knights will score 8 points for kill and kill more. Top of round 4 for the Imperial Knights, they will draw engage on all fronts and sabotage as their secondaries for the turn. They hold but do not hold more and will score 4 points on primary. If you're still watching, let us know in the comments down below which factions you'd like to see more of on the channel. Start of the movement phase, and Sir Hector is going to move on to the nearby template to begin to sabotage. Knight Crusader is going to replace him on the objective and gain line of sight onto the Wave Serpent. Rangers are going to reactive move on the other side of the wall on the center objective, and the Defender is going to make a slight reposition to be within 12 of the Crusader to give it ignores cover. The Knight Defender is going to open fire on the Wave Serpent. Eldar spend a command point to make it -1 to hit, and it barely survives at just 4 wounds remaining. They will burn a battle focus to reactive move it out of line of sight of the Knight Crusader. It's pretty upset about this and makes the charge into the Wave Serpent. Thunder Stomp on the Crusader and -1 to hit on the Wave Serpent means it survives to fight another day. The Crusader will take 1 damage on the crackback. That is going to end a quick turn for the Imperial Knights. They will score 1 point for engage on all fronts, and sabotage is ongoing. Bottom of round 4 for the Eldar, they will draw Bring It Down and Assassination as their secondaries for the turn. They hold and hold more and will score 8 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, Feugan and the Fire Dragons are going to disembark outside of engagement range of the Knight Crusader. Rangers are going to battle focus and make their way towards Sir Hector. Swooping Hawks are going to battle focus and advance to make it on the center objective, as well as making sure one of them is within 8 inches of the Knight Crusader. Second squad of Hawks are going after the Knight Defender. Warp Serpent will fall back towards the southern objective. Warp Spiders will move on to that objective. Start of the shooting phase, Swooping Hawks deal 2 mortals to the Crusader. Second squad of Hawks deals 4 mortal wounds to the Defender. Fire Dragons chuck a grenade and deal 4 more mortal wounds. Swooping Hawks and the Rangers open fire on Sir Hector, but he didn't get his title for nothing and only suffers 1 wound. Imperial Knights rotate Ion Shields on the Crusader as Feugan and the Fire Dragons fire into it, and it survives at just 2 wounds remaining. It's charge o'clock, and in a gutsy move, Feugan is going to charge the Crusader. Let's see how it works out for them, Cotton. Rangers will make their charge into Sir Hector to attempt to interrupt the sabotage. Start of the fight phase, and Feugan's Fire Axe does the trick, finally taking down the Knight Crusader. It does not explode. Sir Hector weathers the storm, only taking 1 damage, but fails to score a wound on the crackback. That is going to end the turn for the Eldar. They will score 4 points for Bring It Down, 5 points for Assassination, and 8 points for Kill and Kill More. Sir Hector completes the sabotage, scoring the Knights 3 points. Top of round 5 for the Imperial Knights, they will draw behind enemy lines, which they'll cycle away with new orders, drawing them extend battle lines and storm hostile objective as their secondaries for the turn. They hold and will score 4 points on primary. Sir Hector succeeds his leadership check and the desperate escape to fall back onto the objective. The Knight Defender fires into the Swooping Hawks and picks up the entire squad. That is going to end the turn for the Imperial Knights. They will score 4 points for extend battle lines and 4 points for earning a kill. That will make the final score 72 to 81 in favor of the Aeldari. Thank you, my friends, for taking the time to watch this video. If you've enjoyed it and like to support the channel directly, consider becoming a channel member, as this will help us purchase more equipment to increase the show quality of our videos. You can also hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share us with a friend. That's absolutely free and it helps us out immensely. But that will do it for today, my friends. So until next time, as always, happy gaming.